The following program contains coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Anybody can look at these pictures like this right here and think, oh, it's such a beautiful thing. But in all reality, we are facing a huge epidemic when it comes to our babies, ladies and gentlemen. Houston, Texas. Houston is taking another L. Texas taking another L. Hate to keep doing it, but this is what we got to talk about. That's such a beautiful little baby with such a tragic story. Let me give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer. This is for mature audiences only. If you can't handle it, I understand. But I want to keep my monetization, so please be warned. That's what it is. Let's get this thing in. Let's go.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And I'm getting this story from theindependent.com. So if they are listening, thank you so much for the article. I wanted to back this up just for a second so y'all can see this. These pictures look beautiful. They invest so much time. They spend a lot of money putting these nice little pictures together. And just at the end of the day, horrible parents, priorities, all wrong, bad people, okay? A father has been accused of killing his own son before blaming the 2-month-old child's injuries on an allergic reaction. Y'all hear that? Blaming this baby's injuries on an allergic reaction. Well, let's just see what we have in store. Damari Alston, 27 years old, has been charged with 1 count of capital murder, which is the most serious one, of a victim under the age of 10 years old in Houston, Texas. That would be a super aggravated child abuse law, if I'm not mistaken. Trinity Naomi Perez, who's the woman, if you can call her that, the boy's 22-year-old mother is facing a felony charge of injury to a child. That's her. According to court records, their son, Zayn, Z-A-Y-N, was severely injured in July of 2024, suffering a fractured arm, a clavicle, and ribs fractured when he was just 10 days old. That's an allergic reaction? That's an allergic reaction? Really? What's up, Island Girl? Huh. Yeah, he kind of does. He does look like a bum, but they're both bummy people. 2 bums. Bum and bum light. Bum and bum light. Right? Now, don't steal that. That's mine. Anyway, according to court records, their son, Zayn, was severely injured in July 2024, suffered a fractured arm, clavicle, and ribs when he was just 10 days old. As a result, he was placed in the care of maternal great-grandmother, and from that point, the parents were not allowed to spend the night with him and instead would visit him during the day. 2 months later, on September the 9th, Zayn was admitted to Memorial Hermann Hospital after suffering a skull fracture, a brain bleed, and retinal hemorrhaging. The baby was placed in critical care before being pronounced dead 2 days later. So they had somebody trying to protect the kid, and they kept going out of their way. I want to see my kid anyway, just to go and further hurt him. Like, you just can't be that damn effing stupid. You can't be that damn dumb. I guess you can in this case. Perez, the mother, told authorities later her son had been injured the day before he was taken to the hospital while her boyfriend was upstairs in the apartment with the child. Alston told her he had tripped and fell while holding Zayn, court documents say. But didn't think that they had anything to worry about as he did not cry and was still responsive. Perez told investigators she did not believe Alston was causing abusive injuries to their son and described him as a good dad. More concerned about each other than the baby. That's always a sign of a horrible parent. When Zane was taken to the hospital, his father said his son's injuries could have been caused by an allergic reaction because everything started to swell, according to court records. But he has broken bones. You don't get broken bones from an allergic reaction. That comes from abuse. Police said that they discovered internet searches on Alston's iPhone, which included 2-month-old baby hard to wake up, and what happens if your 2-month-old doesn't have a pulse. Other searches included, my 2-month-old died, is anyone getting charged, and best Houston defense lawyers, child abuse cases. Alston's iPhone also had a deleted Google search, how to pass a lie detector test, dated on September the 10th when Zane was still in the hospital, and that's according to court documents. Can't be that damn effing stupid. Zane's autopsy revealed that the 2-month-old had suffered at least 4 traumatic events of blunt force trauma before his death. Ruling his death a homicide, the cause was given as multiple blunt force injuries to the head, torso, and extremities. Yeah, Jimmy D, man. Jeez. Alston, and you know what? Did somebody put up a GoFundMe? Let me see. I don't know. Let me look. Damn. Oh, can we get a hashtag babies for benefits, please? I need somebody to post it in the chat. We just gave out 5 channel memberships to people. I don't know if they're even typing in the chat. But it's all good. I guess they can listen. It's okay. Free her and Damari. Donate to Yellow Barbie, wrongfully accused or organized by Vanessa Martinez. Wrongfully accused, huh? Look at this. Help honor baby Zane's memory. We get a hashtag babies for benefits. How much were they asking for? $10,000. They were asking for $10,000. They got $25 as of when I took this screenshot. So I don't know if any other donors have donated since then, but yeah, that doesn't sound like that GoFundMe needs to be up, but I digress. I'm not going to tell people to go flag it down, but if you do, I wouldn't be mad. Alston is currently being held at the Harris County Detention Center on a $2 million bond, while Perez's bond has been set at $250,000. Let me give you guys the fair uses. That is such a beautiful little baby, man. And they are just some abusive-ass, terrible parents.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Triple L and Just Jess, I agree with you guys. Jessica and Triple L, I agree with you both. Y'all do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up. If you're watching this, make the story go viral. Listen to this. I got a couple videos. They ain't going to take too long. Let's go.
Y'all, so it is October 1st and I am going to be doing a Vlogtober. Well, I'm going to try and post a vlog every day, so we will see how that goes. It's October 1st. I'm due in 2 weeks, so it's gonna be a little something to do every day, probably, hopefully. But y'all, I'm about to go to my last ultrasound. If you've been watching my journey, you know that I was supposed to have my last ultrasound last time, but they wanted to do one more just to get a growth scan one last time. So we have that to do today. And yeah, y'all, I'm not gonna wear no makeup there. I'm just doing like a little razzle dazzle. Just
I almost about to pause it because of the music, but I forgot I already fixed it for this video. So yeah, enjoy it. Look at these damn fools.
Only on Fox, unfortunately, another disturbing case involving parents accused in the death of their own child. Now, this is the case of two parents facing charges in the death of their 2-month-old son, Zane Alston, who died in September of 2024.
A Harris County prosecutor is speaking out tonight. Fox 26's Leslie Delaspore has more about what happened in.
Jess, you are asking all the right questions. Why do they need a GoFundMe when they got all that money? Right? I mean, because y'all got to watch it. Like, even like when you go and look at their social media, which I did, they had this big extravagant baby shower and everything. It looked like them people spent a lot of money. So I'm not so sure that it was Temu money. It might have been real money because they looked like they spent a lot in them little photo shoots and the decorating and everything all nice and clean and upscale, and it just looked expensive. Maybe it was cheap. I don't know. But maybe they were some scammers too. Who knows?
27-year-old Damari Alston is facing capital murder charges, and 22-year-old Trinity Perez is facing a felony charge of injury to a child by omission in the death of their son, Zane Alston. The dad's bond is currently set at $2 million, and the mother's bond is set at $250,000. Now, the Assistant District Attorney Tiffany Dupree breaks down not only what happened in court, but also some important details in the case.
We believe that the father actually committed the offense of capital murder where he caused the injuries to the child. And then injury to by omission is, as a mother, we have a duty and an obligation to protect our children, to seek adequate medical treatment for them when they are injured. And so we believe she did not uphold that duty.
Damari Alston stood before a judge alongside his attorney and the prosecution. We learned that he's originally from Wisconsin and has only been in Houston 3 years and works as a club promoter. He was read his bond conditions and told by the judge he cannot have any contact with any children under 18, including an older child of his who's a toddler. The mother did not appear in the courtroom, but her attorney did.
Well, there was already a CPS investigation going on originally where the child had been injured at 10 days old. And so then these injuries occurred when the baby was 2 months old. And so due to the fact that they weren't following court conditions that were already in place and his lack of ties to the community, we felt that the bond needed to be high.
According to court records, 2-month-old Zane Alston was born July 6, 2024. And the first report of injuries that alarmed CPS came when he was taken to the hospital at 10 days old, July 16th. The child's maternal great-grandmother became the CPS safety monitor, and the parents were required to follow certain orders from CPS. Court records suggest they did not, because Zane was taken to the hospital September 8th with new injuries that not only prompted his death, but also got HPD detectives involved. The 2-month-old tragically died from his injuries September 11th.
CPS has certain plans in place when a child has been injured, and they were to have no contact, the mother and father were to have no unsupervised contact with the baby. They were having unsupervised contact with the baby and not following the court conditions that had been in place previously, and then ultimately ultimately the baby was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced deceased.
If convicted, the father could be sentenced to life without parole or face the death penalty, and the mother could face anywhere from 5 to 99 years behind bars. The DA's office says they will work to get justice for Zane. Now, we did try to speak with loved ones of the defendants at court, but they declined an interview on camera. Now, for more information on this story, such as the timeline of alleged abuse, you can go to our website at fox26houston.com. Reporting in downtown, Leslie Delasport, Fox 26 News.
Now to a story where a 2-month-old child has died. A local man and woman are facing charges in the death of the 2-month-old, and it all happened in September of 2024. Leslie Delasport spoke to the prosecutor in the case. Leslie, what did they have to say?
Yeah, Rashi, that's right. I was in court this morning, and the father is facing capital murder charges, and the mother is facing charges of injury to a child. But here's a quick recap of what happened in court. Now, 27-year-old Damari Alston came before a judge today alongside his attorney to discuss his bond and conditions. The prosecution went over the probable cause and read details about the case, such as the child's injuries, findings from a CPS investigation, questionable text messages between the parents, and deleted search history from the father's phone. Now, the judge set a bond at $2 million for the dad, and he was told he cannot have any contact with children, including his older child, who was a toddler. Now, as far as the mom, her bond was set at $250,000, and she did not make an appearance in the courtroom, but her attorney was present. And we did speak with the prosecutor after. Here's what she had to say.
There's already a CPS investigation going on originally where the child had been injured at 10 days old. And so then these injuries occurred when the baby was 2 months old. And so due to the fact that they weren't following court conditions that were already in place and his lack of ties to the community, we felt that the bond needed to be high. They were having unsupervised contact with the baby and not following the court conditions that had been in place previously. And then ultimately the baby was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced deceased. The bond of the father remained at $2 million, and then the mother's bond, Trinity Perez, is at $250,000. Obviously, they are also given, if they were to make bond, a long list of conditions, including house arrest, no contact with children under the age of 17, remain in Harris County, things like that. We believe that the father actually committed the offense of capital murder where he caused the injuries to the child. And then injury to by omission is, as a mother, we have a duty and an obligation to protect our children, to seek adequate medical treatment for them when they are injured. And so we believe she did not uphold that duty, and the father caused injuries. And there were text messages and searches that indicated that there had been ongoing abuse of the baby. Now, the baby was only 67 days old, and so there's only so much time that could pass. But throughout that time, their relationship with the mom and the dad showed that the child had been being injured multiple times. We knew about the incident when he was 10 days old, already having broken bones. If babies are moving, they shouldn't have any bruises, bumps, or broken bones, certainly. They'll have additional court settings. Eventually, the cases will be presented to a grand jury, and then a grand jury will decide whether to true bill or no bill the cases, and then we'll continue through the court process.
Now, loved ones of the defendants were in court today, and we did try to speak with them after the hearing, but they did decline a chance to speak out with us. Reporting live in downtown Houston, Leslie Delasport, Fox 26 News.
So look, at the end of the day, lies have been told, but I think the truth will prevail. But again, look at these extravagant celebrations. Like, it looks like they're spending a lot of bread. Maybe they aren't. I don't know. I mean, it just depends. But nonetheless, to mishandle a baby, and then it's like, not only did you do that from 10 days old, but then they gave you time away from that child. You could have just stayed away. Y'all was still going to go see the baby. You could have just left the baby in their care. Since you guys are clearly not ready to be parents, don't want to be parents, now you have a dead baby. And this is just ridiculously sad. So the baby Zane, beautiful little soul, beautiful little kid. Let me see, right here. Wait. Where's this picture at? Right here. That's my favorite picture. R.I.P. Beautiful little soul. Deserved an opportunity to grow up and become something great. So throw the book at him, judge. Prosecutors, whatever it is, or even if they go in front of a jury, throw the book at them. And I hope that's what happens. Get baby Zane some justice in this story, okay? Thank you.